We're here at the BFI.
Aye!
That is Nick of the Universals.
And Will of the Universals in our second Doctor cosplays.
Yes, he is too, I am too. We're here to watch Underwater Menace fish people thingy-majig. Yes.
Yeah, specifically the animated version that is coming to DVD and Blu-ray next month at time of recording, and we're having this special screening in advance.
Trust Nick to always be very specific. So yeah, we're just going to go watch the animation.
Yeah, it's about 25 minutes to go, but doors have opened, so we might make a move in a sec.
And we'll catch you later when we're finished and shenanigans happen, I guess.
Yeah.
All praise Amdo, the fish god of fish.
Episode, making sure nothing's missing, making sure I've identified all the best sources and put more in order and edited it all together. The opening and closing titles get replaced from Delia Derbyshire's original quarter-inch tape, which I have a digitised copy of, so those always sound pristine, they're straight off the masters. And then once I have it all in order and I know it's running at the right speed and I've got a beginning, a middle and end, that becomes the master file to which we all work. So I send that off to Anne-Marie or whoever's producing the animation, and we all have to stick rigidly to that, whatever happens from now on, otherwise it won't sync. But then that becomes my source file, which I then use not just for the animation, but also obviously for restored episodes 2 and 3, for telestamps, telestamps, reconstruction, all that kind of thing. So that's the master file, and while Anne-Marie and her team are working on the animation, I'm remastering the audio to get it to sound as best I possibly can. So yeah, this is mainly, I mean, even episodes 2 and 3 here are mainly Graham Strong's off-air recording, because it's better than the optical 16mm sound on the film.
Why is that?
Well, very good question. Basically, the optical sound on film is, you know how film works. There's 25 frames a second, which is about, I can't remember exactly what it is for 16mm, something will tell me it's about a foot per second. And the soundtrack is basically, an optical soundtrack is a wavy line, very, very thin, down the side of the film. And on playback, you shine a light through that, and then there's an optical sensor on the other side, and the white on the line gets bigger and smaller. That's your modulation, your oscillation. So basically, the light that's picked up the other side becomes brighter and darker, which produces a greater and lesser current in the optical sensor, which then that is translated into sound. It's slow, it's noisy, it's optical. So the frequency response is not very good. In fact, most of these top out at about 7 kilohertz, which is not very high. So if we use the magnetic off-air recording, it's generally of slightly better quality. It won't have, you can imagine if there's dust on the film, that gets picked up and becomes noise. That doesn't happen on magnetic tape. So there's all sorts of reasons why the magnetic tape, by and large, is better. But I mean, there are I think there's about 10 minutes in that episode which is the optical sound. So my job is then to try and make it that you don't notice the difference. You know, there's a massive difference in sound quality between the film, when I'm cutting between film and magnetic. That's what I've got to smooth out. The other thing on this episode in particular is on both the film and on the off-air recording, it's incredibly shrill.
Is at the very beginning of the process.
Beginning and the end.
And then at the end, yeah. And together, how long would that take you?
Oh, how long have we been working on this one, Anne-Marie? 15 months. There you go. So 15 months ago, or a bit longer than that, I would have produced the reference files. And then as a last thing between then and now, I then do the remastering. And then the last thing is that Anne-Marie will send me the final pictures and a few emails full of notes, so I can go through just in case she wants anything looking at particularly or tweaking. So we do, I hold my hand up for this and I make no apologies for it, we do take slight liberties with animation. So if, you know, on the original they missed the opening or closing of a door sound effect, we'll shove it in. There's a little moment in this one when they make the fire balloon, remember the brazier thing, she throws something on, we added a little sound effect to that, just to sell the animation more. I think, you know, animation, I mean, Anne-Marie can tell you more about it, but animation is a very different medium to the original, you know, live action shows. So, you know, we have to make it look good as an animated production. You know, this is a different way of telling the story visually, and we have to just sometimes give it a little kick. But, you know, for the film, obviously, it's just untouched, the original soundtrack.
So that was super heckin' based.
Oh yeah, that was some good animation there, good animated stuff. As we discussed in the review, it's not my favourite story of the season, actually it's probably least favourite, but it has pretty damn valid animation, as we discussed.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We just filmed the review and we'll let you know more about that. But right now, we're just chilling. They're doing a quiz of Rassilon down there, so that's...
The Cutaway colleagues are still doing stuff. Going to have a talk to them. It looks like they're less busy now. And then we're going to go and have food.
Yeah, I'm going to have a pub lunch, or a BFI lunch, I guess.
They've got the BFI thing, so... Let's go and speak to Cutaway Comics before they run off, and then let's go and have lunch.
Of course. Where did my... We are now at the BFI restaurant. We are going to have
Food.
the Riverfront Burger.
Yeah, we just have to place an order.
Om nom nom. Om nom 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 nom.
Okay,
Om nom nom. Catch you later.
Well, Hugh, you know your first doctor better than your second doctor. And 5 doctors kind of a bit 50-50.